Good day, teachers! Today we will talk about the revised Bloom's taxonomy. Benjamin Bloom created the Bloom's taxonomy in order to promote higher order thinking skills, or what we know as the HOTS. This framework is designed to classify learning outcomes and learning objectives that differs with complexity and specificity. To better reflect the 21st century work and help teachers understand and implement standard-based curricula, Lauren Anderson together with David Crathwell revised the Bloom's taxonomy. In the revised Bloom's taxonomy, emphasis was placed upon the use of authentic tool in curriculum planning, instructional delivery, and assessment. Examples of authentic assessment would be conducting research and writing a report, character analysis, student debates, journal entries, discussion partners or groups, and student self-assessment. The shift of the form of words used from nouns to verbs provided learners a clearer set of objectives of what is expected of them. It also affected the demonstration of the different abilities involved. In the revised Bloom's taxonomy, the verbs used are remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. You will also notice that the highest ability in the hierarchy is create and the second to it is evaluate, which is the opposite of the first version of the taxonomy. Let us talk about the first level in the hierarchy, and that would be remember. It aims to retrieve, recall, or recognize relevant knowledge from the long-term memory. For example, recall the dates of the important events in the Philippine history. Some of the appropriate learning outcome verbs for this level would include cite, define, describe, identify, label, list, match, name, outline, quote, recall, report, reproduce, retrieve, show, state, and tell. Next is understand. It entails understanding of what the given information means. It aims for the students to demonstrate comprehension through one or more forms of explanation. For example, differentiate salary and income. Some of the appropriate learning outcome verbs for this level are arrange, articulate, associate, categorize, clarify, classify, compare, conclude, contrast, defend, diagram, differentiate, discuss, and distinguish. Now, let's move on the third level, which is applying. It focuses on carrying out or using a procedure for executing or implementing the information learned in a different form. For example, calculate the kinetic energy of a projectile. Or you can also ask questions like, how would you solve? Some of the appropriate learning outcome verbs for this level are apply, classify, demonstrate, examine, execute, outline, and organize. The fourth level is analyzing. It involves breaking the material into constituent parts and determining how parts are connected to one another by differentiating and organizing. An example learning outcome for this level would be analyze the difference between coherence and coherence. The appropriate learning outcome verbs for this level are analyze, arrange, categorize, classify, and explain. Next is evaluating. This aims for the students to make judgments based on criteria and standards. An example learning outcome for this would be evaluate the importance of. You can also ask the students to do tasks like justify the point of and support the writer's purpose using real-life events. You can also use the verbs like choose, support, evaluate, justify, argue, assess, conclude, and determine. Lastly, the highest level in the hierarchy is creating. This aims for the students to put elements together to form a new coherent or functional whole. An example learning objective for this level would be compose a poem that talks about the current issues in the society nowadays. The example learning outcome verbs for this level are design, formulate, build, invent, create, compose, generate, derive, modify, and develop. All in all, the Bloom's taxonomy is a helpful tool that explains the process of learning. You must first remember a concept before you can understand it. Understand the concept first before you apply it. Analyze first before you evaluate the process. And lastly, a thorough evaluation is needed for you to create an accurate conclusion.